My name is Lauren Cruz. My first hypothesis states that younger adults are more likely to agree that technology has a positive impact on romantic relationships. I got a p-value of 0.62, which means I cannot reject the null. My second hypothesis states that those with higher cell phone usage report dating is easier. I got a p-value of 0.022, which means I can reject the null. My third hypothesis states that those with more technology usage feel closer to their romantic partner. I got a p-value of 0.037, which means I can reject the null. My fourth hypothesis states that technology increases communication in romantic relationships. I got a p-value of 0.424, which means I cannot reject the null. I used gamma for the measure of association for all of my tests, and I used chi-square for all the tests of significance. I can conclude that half of the people surveyed agree that technology improves dating, while half do not think technology has a positive impact on dating.
Hi, my name is Nigel Leos. What I have chosen to study is the relationship between cheating while in a monogamous relationship and how the use of the application for cell phones called Snapchat affects the odds of a person cheating. By comparing the use of Snapchat and the amount of times a person has cheated, I found the use of Snapchat does not have a strong correlation with cheating. I therefore cannot reject the null because my hypothesis is not significant. The application Snapchat is a picture-taking application that is unique because of its ability to only let the receiver of the picture to view that picture once and only for seconds at a time. The application is meant to be very secretive.
Hello, my name is Giovanni Munez. My hypothesis was that social media is a good way for people of all ages to meet life partners or spouses. Both my variables were ordinal by ordinal. My way of testing my hypothesis was by using gamma as a measure of association and chi-square as a means of testing the significance. My findings were that p-value for chi-square was less than 0.05 and 0.000, while value for gamma was 0.620, noting that the relationship was strong but not significant.
Hello, my name is Giovanni Munez, and my hypothesis is younger people favor online classes more than older adults. My results of my study were not meaningful due to the fact that we were limited on time and our sample size. I used a p-value of 0.05, and from these results, I can interpret that there was no relation between the tested variables due to the fact that I obtained a chi-square significant value of 0.133. And since my variables were ordinal by ordinal, my gamma value was 0.242, which makes it a weak relationship. In result, we cannot reject the null hypothesis. It was interesting to see these findings because I was expecting younger adults to be more appealing to online classes, but that wasn't the case as it demonstrates from the output. Younger adults actually were more approving of face-to-face traditional classroom settings as compared to older adults aged 40 and above. Thank you.
My name is Dan Carrillo. My hypothesis was there will be a greater chance older adults will be incapable of using new technology. Okay, could you move it to the next?
It's making me crazy. I'm trying to find out how much ASA.
To test this hypothesis, a crosstab was run with I feel confident in my abilities to use new technologies with age. P-value showed at 1.139, so there was no significance. Gamma value was negative 0.161, which was moderate, worth noting, with a negative association as age increased, confidence and ability to use technologies decreased. Because the p-value was 0.139 and not less than 0.05, we could not reject the null.
Maria Hernandez. The more technology one uses, the fewer face-to-face interactions one uses, the fewer face-to-face interactions one will have. To compare the variables focusing on gamma and Pearson chi-square. With the chi-square value of 3.411, with the chi-square value of 0.906 and a gamma value of positive 0.906 and a gamma value of positive 0.052, I came to the result that there is no significant difference. Thus, since the p-value was greater than 0.05, there is also evidence of a weak association between the amount of technology one uses and the personal interaction one uses.
My name is Denise Adu. I hypothesized that women would be more likely than men to feel that social networks do not enhance romantic relationships. Since both variables are
The purpose of this study is to determine whether or not social media has perpetuated the issue of low self-esteem. By testing 3 different hypotheses, we can conclude if there's a relationship between the 2 variables, as well as who's being affected by this phenomenon. Since my variables were nominal and orderal, the measure of association used was Kramer's V and chi-squared for the test of significance. The results show a significant relationship between self-esteem and social media usage, with chi-squared at 0.056 and Kramer's V at 0.243, which suggests the relationship is moderate and worth noting.
My name is Daniel Commento, and my Bronco ID is 008138637. I focus on the effects of technology, emphasizing social media in a relationship. So one of my hypotheses is those who use social media will cheat more. The result of the study is x squared equals 13.223. The degrees of freedom is 8, and p equals 0.104, which I consider it as a low association, but still worth noting.
Okay, hi, my name is Ashley Lynn Duran. My first hypothesis was the more social media a person uses, the less they communicate face-to-face. I used gamma to test the association between the variables and chi-squared to test the significance of the relationship. Gamma was equal to 0.235 and was interpreted as a moderately weak association. Chi-squared was equal to 17.663 with a p-value of 0.024. Since p was less than 0.05, it is possible to reject the null, which means that there was a relationship between social media usage and the frequency of face-to-face communication. My second hypothesis was the more social media a student uses, the lower their GPAs. I used gamma to test the association between the variables, and I used chi-squared to test the significance. Gamma was equal to negative 0.093, which is interpreted as a weak association, and chi-squared was equal to 5.393, with a p-value equal to 0.249. Since the p-value was greater than 0.05, I could not reject the null, so there was no relationship.
Hi, my name is Brittany Macias, and my hypothesis was that female drivers that use behind-the-wheel technology will cause more collisions compared to men who use behind-the-wheel technology. By running a cross-tabulation and gamma and chi-square as my measure of association, my recorded p-value was negative 0.16, and my chi-squared is as stated. My relationship is seen as a negative direction because gamma indicates the strength of association, but also the direction. In this case, as one of my variables increases, the other decreases. So there was no significant relationship between my variables.
My name is Lorena Escalante, and my hypothesis was that females would be more likely than males to confront their partner for a text or message found. My results were Kramer's V was 0.228, the degrees of freedom was 4, and the p-value was 0.007. So my results were significant. If females are more likely than males to confront their partner over a text or message they found, and females were 18.6% more likely than males to confront them once or twice. Males got 7.7%.
Hello, the name is Fabi Diaz, and I did my hypothesis on social networking sites and the increase on young adults' self-esteem. So my result, as you can see on the graph, shows that the p-value is 0.616 for the use of Facebook and its effect on self-esteem. The measure of association is weak at 0.055. Therefore, we can reject my null hypothesis of there is no relationship between social networking sites and young adults' confidence. In regards to age, as you can see on the graph on the left, the p-value is 0.003, and the measure of association is 0.269, meaning it's a weak association. And there you guys go.
And thank you for your time and your energy. So this is me now and my doggy Panchito. He is my 8-month-old new puppy. Thank you.
My name is Carlos Torres. For this research, I tested two hypotheses. My name is Carlos Torres. One was the older a person is, the less time they spend using technology. Hypothesis one resulted in p-value being a person is, the less time and gamma value of 0.177. Resulted in hypothesis two was men are more likely to engage in technology. And gamma value of resulted in p-value of 0.356. Hypothesis two was men are more likely to engage in technology. These results resulted in a p-value of 0.356 supported due to chi-square being less than 0.05, and for my second hypothesis, the null that hypothesis 1 was supported due to chi-square being less than 0.05, and for my second hypothesis, the null could not be rejected.
Hypothesis. I propose that there be a relationship between an individual's race and their willingness to use a digital technology like online dating. The null hypothesis was that there would be no relationship between an individual's race and their willingness to use online dating. The graph shows that I should reject my hypothesis and accept my null hypothesis because Middle Eastern was in fact the ethnic group that was least likely to use online dating.
Hello, my name is Christina Mejorado. My hypothesis was older people are more likely to be disengaged from technology than younger people. By using the measure of association, gamma, and chi-square for my test of significance, my p-value of 0.970 resulted as more than 0.05, so I could not reject the null hypothesis.
Hi, my name is Hannah Burke. My hypothesis states those who report being younger in age will also report that they are more dependent on technology. My measure of association was gamma, negative 0.336. Chi-square was 23.130. Degrees of freedom was 6, and the p-value was 0.001. Due to the negative association in the gamma value, we see that as age increases, dependency on technology decreases. Gamma being negative 0.336 reveals that this is a strong association. Because chi-squared has a p-value of 0.001, I can reject the null. My hypothesis was supported. To interpret, those who reported being younger in age also reported being more dependent on technology. This can be seen on the table as those who reported being moderately dependent on technology were mostly young adults and adults at 33.58% and 27.55%.
Hi, my name is Maria Medina. My study focused on who is more prone to use online dating sites and if there is still a stigma of meeting a future partner through a monitor. My first hypothesis states that women are more likely to use online dating. My results concluded significant with p equaling 0.000, rejecting the null. My second hypothesis states that young adults are more likely to use online dating. My results concluded to be not that significant with p equaling to 0.106 and not being able to reject the null. My third hypothesis states that LGBT-identified individuals use more dating less than straight identified individuals. My results concluded to be not significant with p equaling 0.298, not being able to reject the null. My fourth and final hypothesis states that men have lower stigma towards online dating than women. My results concluded to not being significant with p equaling 0.189, not being able to reject the null.
My name is Stephanie Zuniga.
My name is Joanna Serenas. The hypothesis I have tested was the more people use online social media as a form of communication will increase the level of satisfaction in communication within romantic relationships than those who do not use online social media. For my study, I tested my variables with gamma to measure the association between the variables since they are both ordinal. The value of gamma is 0.204, which represents a moderate relationship. I have used chi-squared to test the significance, which has a p-value of 0.065. This reveals that there is no significance between the two tested variables. Therefore, I cannot reject the null hypothesis. I found the study very interesting because I thought there will be a strong relationship between the measured variables. These studies reveal that using online social media as a form of communication is not associated with the increased level of satisfaction in communication within romantic relationships.
My name is Brittany Valdez. My hypothesis is that young adults feel more urgency to respond to text messages than older adults. As my table on the left shows, chi-squared has a p-value of 0.009 with a negative weak moderate association at negative 0.199. Therefore, age and response rate of text message are significant. Then my table on the right shows that chi-squared has a p-value of 0.002 with a negative moderate association at negative 0.373. Therefore, age and feelings of anger for not receiving a response to their text message is significant as well. This data could help support my hypothesis that young adults feel more urgency to respond to text messages than older adults.